Wander Wealthy Podcast, episode 159. Hey everyone. Welcome back to another episode of the Wander Wealthy Podcast. My name is Tess. I'm the host, and today we're doing another solo show. We're going to continue going down the mindset road because one topic that's come up with a lot of my clients lately has been about how they feel about themselves, what their own internal opinions are about themselves, and this idea that we put so much stake and we give so much power to the opinions of other people. And maybe it's a cliche to tell you right here, other people's opinions of you don't matter, but it really doesn't. So we're going to talk about that today. And we're just going to kind of peel it open, and I will leave you with some questions to ask, maybe to journal on, as well as some mantras to repeat to yourself as you continue to identify how you really feel about yourself and how you can get yourself to a point where you have a really high opinion of yourself, which might sound arrogant, but honestly, if you don't have a high opinion of yourself, who's supposed to think you're so great if you don't even think you're great? So anyway, we're going to dive into that. But before we do, I just want to share some exciting news. I think it's really important for me as a coach, as the founder of this business that talks a lot about both money and personal development, to share, some of my inside details. What am I up to? How am I walking my talk? And so today is the 12th of March, the day that this is uploaded, and it is 2 days after kicking off a brand new program that I have personally invested in. I am so excited to be joining this coaching program. It's a high-level, high-ticket coaching program, but I am so ready to take my coaching and the services that I provide to the next level and reach more and more people. So just wanted to share that I also invest in coaching. I think that everyone in one way, shape, or form should have some sort of mentor or coach, or at least be investing in, working on themselves, whether it's through personal development or it's through their business or it's through, just some level of getting more knowledgeable or getting more experience or getting some accountability to work towards your goals. So that's something that I am doing. I made this high ticket investment, and it's really, there were many different reasons for it. One is I'm a big proponent of just-in-time learning. And so I have noticed, some of my weak spots in my business. And now I've known about this coaching program for a long time, but it didn't really feel like the right time until I noticed that those were the weak spots I needed to fill. Before that, prior to that, so this program is focused on sales and marketing and a lot of copywriting, which I've done many years ago. I did a lot of courses and stuff when I was a copywriter, but I feel like I've gotten a little rusty, so to speak. I could definitely use some sprucing up. And so I've known about this program, but at the time when this program was being made available to the masses, I was in a different program. I was going through my certification program and working to become a certified neurolinguistic programming, hypnotherapy, EFT, time techniques practitioner, as well as a certified life and success coach. And so, like I said, I'm really a proponent of just-in-time learning, where at the moment where I was interested in becoming a much better coach on a deeper level of connecting with my clients and helping them get the results they need in their lives, I signed up for the certification. And because I signed up for the certification, and it was, a timeline of about, I would say 6 to 9 months of me really working through that material and getting certified, I didn't want to spread myself too thin in other places. And so I waited until now I'm certified, and now I'm I got to take this mindset work as well as the financial work that I have already been providing to my clients. And I need to get more people to see the power of working on your money and your mind. And so now I'm seeking how to expand that. And so like I've mentioned now, like not to beat a dead horse, but it's so important to do just-in-time learning instead of kind of like buying up every single program and promising yourself you'll get to it, but then not getting to it. I would much rather personally and for my clients have them invest in one thing, whether it's one coach or one program where you're working on this one area of your life, fully commit to it so you can see those results and then think about the next step. What is the next program, or who is the next coach I'm going to hire, or what is the next book I'm going to read even? I think we get so inundated with information and then that just like overwhelms us and consumes us. And then we can't really tell one thing apart from the other. So that's my little life update or business update, and also just some tips that I want to share with you in terms of like, how do I apply a lot of what I talk about to my own life and my own business, and how can you, learn from me, or at the very least see that I do apply what I talk about to my own life and my own business. So getting back to today's topic, and yeah, that was kind of unrelated. I apologize for that, but there's two very good learning moments in this episode. So that's the first one, just-in-time learning, and really focus on learning from like one teacher or one course, which there's always a teacher behind it, one person at a time. But now I want to pivot into asking you the question, how do you feel about yourself? And before we get to that, I think we need to identify, why do you do the things you do? For what purpose are you doing certain things? And we can get specific here and talk about your business. Let's talk about your business. Let's talk about your goals and the goals that you have for your business, for your financial life. What are your goals? And do you even know what you want to start with? Maybe that's what we'll talk about next week, is how important it is to know what you want, or the next time we do a solo show. But if you have an idea of what you want, if you have a goal in mind, especially if you've set a New Year's resolution or a New Year's goal, and now you've been working on it and you're in March now and you're like, about that. Think about that goal. And what I want you to do is determine what is getting in your way. In order to achieve any results, in order to achieve the outcomes that we want in our lives, we need to take action. We need to take regular, consistent action. We need to develop certain behaviors, which ultimately, drive our actions. And we also might need to develop new habits through behaviors and regular repeated actions. But we also know from a lot of the work that we've been talking about on this podcast, we know from the cognitive psychology model of behavior is that our behaviors are driven from how we feel, our emotions. And our emotions are always derived from our thoughts. And a lot of times, if you think about, what am I not doing? Okay, look at where you are today and look at your outcome that you're looking to achieve and identify the gap there. What is the gap? And that gap generally and usually exists because you're not doing something. You're avoiding some sort of action. Maybe you're doing action and it's just the wrong action, but for the most part, there's always something. And this is funny because I always ask this in a lot of my discovery calls with potential clients. I ask them, what could you be doing right now for your finances, for your business, that you aren't currently doing? And they always have an answer, always, because we always know what we could be doing right now that we're not. So once you identify what you could be doing that you're not, I want you to identify and ask yourself, what's the reason that I'm avoiding this? What is the emotion that is causing me to freeze or to avoid or to not go down that path? So how can we back out from the inaction, which inaction is also behavior. It's also an action. It's just not taking action. It's the opposite side of the coin. It's the black to white, right? It's still a color. Or is black and white a color? No, I don't remember. But you know what I'm saying. Inaction is an action. It's just the non-movement, right? So what is the emotion that's driving that action or that inaction? And then how can you bring back that emotion to thoughts? So a lot of times people can determine what they should be doing. Maybe it's that they should raise their prices. And beyond that, like they can raise their prices on paper, but the action that they need to ultimately take is have the conversation with the clients or talk to the person that, you need to negotiate that fee with. So maybe it's that. Maybe it's that they need to get on Instagram Live or Instagram Stories or Facebook Lives. They need to get out in front of people, or they need to attend an event, whether it's a networking event, a conference, and they need to hand over their business cards, or they need to, ask people what they're missing in their lives, what they're lacking in their lives, or how, ask people what they might be lacking that essentially leads to a conversation around whether you're a coach or you're a service-based business owner, what you provide, right? Asking people and get that conversation going, and then being willing to interject and make your offer. Or maybe it's that people are not talking to their prospective clients in their DMs, or they're not following up via email and offering what they have, offering paid services, offering to get on a sales call. Maybe it's that they're avoiding selling altogether. Okay, so there's a lot that we can uncover here. And what we can do from that is identify the thoughts that are leading to that avoidance. And so often those root thoughts are about, well, what would people think? What would the person think at the networking event when I offer a coaching call with them, or when I offer to work with them, or when I, pitch myself? What would my client think when I have the conversation about raising my rates? What would the, people that follow me on Instagram think when I jump on Instagram Live and I start talking about what I do, or talking about what my life looks like and how I walk my talk? And we oftentimes get so wrapped up in putting meaning on other people's opinions of us that we don't take action. So after doing that work, we can really boil this down, and we can say, well, first and foremost, do you know what the opinions of others even are of you, or are you just projecting that on them? A really good conversation I had with someone recently was about vision boards, or I always task my clients to write down their goal numbers on a Post-it note, and this is something I do, and put it on their walls, their bathroom mirrors, put it around their house. And so often, especially because a lot of people aren't writing their numbers down. My clients will, but a lot of people aren't doing that. But a lot of people typically do, or, a majority of people do vision boards. So you can at least relate to this, where you'll have your vision board up in a room of your house. And then when people come over, you get that cringeworthy poop cramp feeling, right? They're going to see my dreams. They're going to see the dream body that I want, and the dream partner that I don't have yet, and that I want to get married in Tuscany, and that I want to, make $1 million, and they're going to see that big dollar sign, and they're going to see that. And what are they going to think? And oh my gosh, I need to move it, and I need to cover it up. Or you think about them probably seeing it, and then you think about it after the fact, and you're like, oh my God, they saw my vision board. Oh, what could they have possibly thought? And then you go into this spiral of all this doubt, or all this, how dare she think that she could meet her dream man and get married in Tuscany, or how dare she imagine herself being able to make $1 million? And you put all these opinions out as if the other people are thinking them. But the reality is, for the most part, unless you have someone telling you, which we will address, but for the most part, people don't tell you what they think about your goals. I mean, unless you're sitting down and you're talking to them, but if you're just imagining how people feel about seeing your vision board about seeing your income number, they're not going to, or they probably haven't outwardly said something to you. For the most part, we just make up what they could possibly think of us. And whether it's true or not, that doesn't matter at all. And this is why. When we live our lives in accordance to pleasing everyone else, in accordance to, making sure we're fitting in the box that other people's opinions would want us to fit in, then we typically don't reach our goals, because the actions and the efforts that we need to take to reach our goals usually means we have to step outside of our comfort zone, and maybe people will think that we're crazy or that we're insane, or that, like, how dare we think that we could quit our job and go and do this, business thing. Okay, maybe they will think about that, but if we continue to play small and live within their boxes, we'll never achieve our own. And so what I've been doing with my clients is asking them, how do you feel about yourself? Do you have a high opinion of yourself? If you were not you, would you want to hang out with you? And sometimes we realize that we don't have a high opinion of ourselves, that we're not feeling that good about the action, or more importantly, the inaction, the actions that we aren't taking. And we recognize that there's some fear around that, fear around what other people will think, or fear or guilt or shame around doing things that would fall outside of the comfort zone of ourselves, as well as the comfort zone of others. Actions that might make others uncomfortable or make others upset. And the truth is, people are going to feel how they want to feel. You cannot change how you make other people feel. And other people can't change how they make you feel. You get to decide how you feel, and so do they. But the problem lies when we start recognizing that we're not doing the things that would help us achieve our goals. Or maybe we're not allowing ourselves to be fully seen and heard. We're not allowing ourselves to be ourselves. And when you recognize that, it's no wonder you don't have a high opinion of yourself, because you're not allowing yourself to be yourself. You're only doing certain things and being a certain person that is aligning with the opinions and the comfort zones of other people. And that's just no way to live, right? It's impossible to live that way. And a lot of us live that way for a very long time, and it's no wonder why we become so unfulfilled and unsatisfied. So if you want to feel good instantly, I want you to go do something that allows you to be fully you. And I want you to remember that other people's opinions of you do not matter, and you can't change them. And even more so, this gets back to the vision board and the, writing your income goals down and putting it up around your house. Imagine your friends or your family coming over when you've already achieved all of that. Are their opinions of you going to change? Maybe. Most likely not, but some might. And does that matter if you've achieved your goals and you feel fully fulfilled and your opinion of yourself is really, really high? It definitely doesn't. Because if they aren't happy or proud or excited for you for achieving your goals and reaching your dreams, then they don't even deserve to be in your life in the first place. So that's what I wanted to talk through. And one last thing is, all of those opinions that you're making up in your head that you believe other people are having about your dreams or your goals or what you're doing in your business, whether it's showing up on Instagram or you're, raising your rates, the opinions you're making up from other people, your family, your friends, your future clients, your potential clients, your old classmates from 2003, we don't actually know those opinions from other people for the most part, and we just make them up. And the ones that you're making up in your head, those are your own opinions. So we need to start changing that. And how do you change that? You start showing up as yourself and tap into, okay, remember that goal that I set at the beginning of the year. Remember the action items that I set for myself to take. Why am I avoiding them? Okay, it's time to stop avoiding them. And probably you're avoiding them because you're afraid of what people think. And decide that that no longer matters. What matters is how you feel about yourself. And so the more you start showing up as yourself and rising your own high opinion of yourself, rising your own internal opinion of yourself, the easier it is for you to be able to see your vision board and even show others what your vision looks like, and avoid all of that doubt that comes flooding in when you think about other people seeing it, because now you're not projecting that inner belief of doubt. You're projecting the inner belief of like, heck yes, I'm going to do this, and I'm going to do it with grace and with gratitude and with integrity, and it's going to be awesome. So a little mantra for you today is to remember other people's opinions of me do not matter. The only opinion that matters is my own. And if I think that it is awesome what I'm doing, I don't care what other people think, because I can't change their opinion. I can only decide how I want to feel. And I can feel really great knowing that I've taken action and I've done the thing, despite how other people are going to think. So there you go. There's your little mantra. There's a little bit of an exercise sprinkled in there somewhere. Go ahead and journal it out if you need to. Go back and re-listen. But I just want you to soak that in, because that was something that when I was coaching my clients over the last week or 2 weeks now, it really hit me too. And I was like, whoa, how do I feel about myself? And I started diving into that and thinking about the things that I've been avoiding and how maybe I'm not showing up in a certain way, and how I can tap into that, because maybe I'm doing it because I'm afraid of what other people will think. And I know that doesn't matter. The only thing that matters is how I feel about myself. So I'm going to do it. So there you go. That's the tea for this week. If you guys want to get at the show notes for this episode, you can head to wanderwealthypodcast.com/podcast/episode 159. And just a last announcement, now that I'm making this big investment in my business, doing great work around sales, marketing, niching, communicating my message, I also want to let you know that I'm going to be offering some really amazing opportunities to work with me in the coming weeks. So keep your eyes peeled. If you want, you can sign up for my email list. All those business owners out there, you online coaches, you service-based business owners, head to wanderwealthy.com/roadmap. You'll be able to download my Easy Profit Roadmap, which is amazing. It's going to help you set some awesome purpose-driven revenue goals, which then you can write down and stick with a sticky note on your wall and not care what people think when they come over and see your revenue goal for the year. And in addition, you'll be on the email list so you can know when some amazing new opportunities to work with me are going to come. So stay tuned, and until next time, I hope you wander wealthy.